now that the offseason is well underway, we're going to be talking about what could be the hottest commodity in a long time for this offseason. That's obviously none other than Mitch Marner. This guy is in a bit of a weird situation. He wants to stay with the Leafs, but the Leafs want to get rid of him. We're going to be talking about what possible trade destinations could be suitable for Mitch Marner here in this video. Before we get into all of this, though, we notice that 78% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your NHL news throughout this very busy offseason, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join us as we cover everything from trades, signings, everything, including the draft, which we have upcoming soon. And it's going to be a very busy one. So make sure to hit the sub button. But like I said, let's get straight into this. What are some destinations that Mitch Marner could end up in? Now, we have about 3 or 4 here that we're going to be talking about today, and there's some pretty interesting ones. Some ones that we have heard a lot of, some ones that we haven't, but we're going to start this one off here with kind of the situation that Mitch Marner is in. And this here is from an Athletic article. At this point, the Marner camp, led by veteran agent Daryl Ferris, is not working on a list of teams. They have no intentions as now as producing such a list. As far as Mitch Marner's camp is concerned, the star winger has 1 more year on his contract with the Leafs and intends to honor it. And this is referring to the situation that Matthew Tkachuk was in a few years ago. He gave a list of 6 teams, then the teams battled it out for who won it. This is not the same situation, but it could certainly end up being at that point soon enough. But as of right now, the recording of this video, May 22nd, that is not the case. But we're going to start off here with our first team. That is the Nashville Predators. This is from Alex Doherty on Twitter. I asked Barry Trotz if he'd be interested in acquiring Mitch Marner with now sum of $25 million in cap room. His response was pretty hilarious. He shrugged it off as just rumors. Now, to me, no, I don't know about you, but to me, this makes me think that Barry Trotz is at least interested. You know, kind of an opportunity where we see a general manager say, yeah, it's just rumors, you know, there's nothing guaranteed about this. Really makes me think that he got to be thinking about something, but don't want to give anything away. We've seen this in the Shohei Ohtani battles in the MLB. The GMs could not say anything. If they did, they were off the list. So in my mind, I'm kind of thinking the same thing here, not as at such a level, but something that really tells me that GM Barry Trotz wants him on the Nashville Predators. What do you think about that?
Nashville, they need to do something. I mean, obviously they were sort of bounced by the Canucks in round 1, and I mean, obviously the $25 million that they have in cap space, you know, they're going to add some scoring. Obviously, Mitch Marner, everybody kind of just jumps to the conclusion that it's going to be Mitch Marner, obviously because of the whole situation. But I mean, I'm going to try to look at it from a Mitch Marner standpoint. Obviously, he has the no trade clause or the no move. Anyway, he has to agree to that wherever he goes. Nashville's a really, really good place to play. You know, obviously it's Nashville. I mean, what else can you say about that? I mean, they have a pretty solid team. Obviously, they made the playoffs this year. We've seen UC Saros in some trade rumors. We know the Leafs need a goalie. I don't know. It sort of seems like that's a match made in heaven right there. So I like Nashville 100%.
Yeah, this is one we've been discussing not in videos, but I really like the idea of a UC Saros being involved in this deal heading to Toronto. It suits the needs of both teams. The Predators have Yaroslav Askarov just waiting for him to become that starter. UC Saros has been in his own trade rumors lately. And to me, it really just makes too much sense for it to not happen. And I will say this now as well. I think that Nashville is my preferred destination for Mitch Marner, and one that I think will at least happen. You know, like I said, I think it makes too much sense for it not to happen for both sides. Obviously, the salary is definitely going to be a bit of a tricky way to solve, but having the fact that you can get Saros in return for that and making it a lot easier for both teams, I mean, why not? $25 million is a lot of money. You're definitely getting something by getting rid of UC Saros. Then you have enough to make some more moves to just keep on adding to that, like you said, very solid Nashville team already. And even what could likely be a deeper playoffs in next season. But, you know, I'm going to say Nashville, my number 1. Yeah, let's move on to another one, a very interesting one here. One that we've seen, but really haven't heard too much of, and that is the Chicago Blackhawks. There was a handful of questions about the Blackhawks acquiring Mitch Marner. I just took this one because I included a specific player in return, and I'll go through it in parts. I'm not putting all the parts. You can read part 1. Blackhawks getting rid of Seth Jones for Mitch Marner. And but I believe this is Mark Power put this article out. He says he's not untouchable. Connor Bedard and maybe Alex Vlasic are probably the only untouchable ones at this point. So, Seth Jones for a Mitch Marner. Kind of two players in the same boat where the fan bases aren't too fond of them for the mistakes they make, their style of play, and two guys who are making a lot of money and seem like they need a new location to, just kind of experience it. One thing I'll say about this, I like this for the Blackhawks. I don't like this for the Maple Leafs. Seth Jones is okay. He has no help, or he didn't have too much help in his Blackhawks tenure this year with Alex Vlasic, playing very well. And both of those sides definitely played good. Seth Jones, he's not that bad, but the money that he's making just really makes him seem like he's not playing to that level. However, once again, both needs. Each team replace them. I don't know if that's how much you want to pay for Seth Jones. However, that contract is tough. I'm not going to deny it. That's a very tough contract, especially for the way he's been playing. However, I think that's a fine deal. So, what do you think about that one? What do you think about the Chicago Blackhawks pairing him with potentially Connor Bedard?
Yeah, that's the first thing comes to my mind is obviously Mitch Marner playing with Connor Bedard. I mean, that'd be gross for the league. I mean, they're two phenomenally talented players. Their skill up the yin yang. But I mean, I kind of gotta assume or kind of gotta think about what would the Blackhawks have to give up in order to get a guy like Marner. Obviously, it's going to be two fairly big pieces, and the Blackhawks are kind of in like a rebuild. Obviously, well, they're not kind of; they are in a rebuild. And I seen one mock trade, and it was absolutely horrendous. I think it was Oliver Moore, Kevin Korchinski, and a first-round pick. So it doesn't include the Seth Jones. But I mean, that makes no sense. Obviously, the Blackhawks are trying to load up on young pieces, trying to load up on prospects and picks. So that makes no sense. But obviously, I think Seth Jones kind of fits the Leafs, but he's making $9.5 million. And the Leafs are obviously strapped for cap, and they have a lot of cap issues. So I don't know how they could rig that up, maybe bring in a third party some way, somehow. But Seth Jones definitely fits the Leafs, but for this, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, no, I agree. One thing about Seth Jones as well is that he's definitely a very mentally strong player. We've seen that. He's getting a lot of hate over the past few years just for his play and everything, and he takes it well. I don't know if the Leafs is the best market for that scenario. We know that their fan base is a bit crazy and, dedicated. I guess it's all part of the dedication and everything, so it does make sense. However, it's a pretty tough spot for already being criticized elsewhere. But I don't have a screenshot for this next one. However, this one has been one that kind of everybody's been talking about since the news that the Arizona Coyotes are moving to Utah. So we know Utah's team is definitely looking for kind of a big splash, I guess you could say, to get this party started in the Salt Lake City. What do you think about Utah, Noah? Right now, I can't really think of any pieces, but I've seen a lot of people saying that Utah would be a great spot for him, just trying to, find a new location, a new atmosphere, and that is the perfect spot to do it with a brand new team. Yeah. So what do you think about Utah before we finish one off?
I don't know. I'm at a toss-up with that, to be completely honest with you. Again, I think Utah's sort of in the same scenario as Chicago. They're trying to load up on the young guys and the picks and trying to, build from within. Why would you trade those guys for how old is Mitch Marner? 27, 26, 27?
28.
I don't know, but 28. But then I'm also on the side of, let Mitch Marner go be the star in Utah and, let him succeed. And, you never know what could happen. So I'm kind of at a toss-up for that one. If I had to say if I was yes or no, I'm probably going to go no, solely because I think I'd rather see Utah rebuild. But, that's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I actually don't. I think he's 28. I'm not sure. But, in the kind of the scenario, we got to think about this as well. This is the Arizona Coyotes. It still is. It's just a different name, a different location, but it's still the same team. And they don't have all the pieces to be able to make that happen. Now, they're going to have a much better fan base in Utah. They're going to have a much better stadium and everything like that. It will make it seem like a normal NHL team. But once again, as we mentioned here, I don't know how possible it is with the pieces that they actually have right now. So I'm still going to say the Predators are my favorite one right now. I think that's probably the best option, the best location, the best scenario for both teams. And I feel like that's probably one of the only ones he would waive his no trade and no move clause for. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. He still could be on the Leafs this time next year. We never know. He could be getting ready to become a free agent straight out of a Maple Leafs uniform. I guess it really depends on what Craig Berube, new head coach, wants to do, how he feels about it. So that's also a very big game changer. But like I said, we don't know. We really have no idea. We can only assume, we can only guess and make our best predictions. But we'll be keeping you guys updated on the whole Mitch Marner sweepstakes. Whatever does end up happening with him, even if there is nothing happening, we'll keep you updated with it. So make sure to hit the sub button, hit the like button as well if you did enjoy. But that's all we got. If you did enjoy, like I said, hit the sub button. And yeah, we're signing up. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.